voice is loud. Everybody pulling, lost in the crowd. Some say bend, some say break what's true. But I've set my eyes on something true. I won't be shaken, I won't be moved. When the lines get blurred, I choose the truth. I won't fall left, I won't fall right. I'm standing firm in a steady light, rooted deep, no compromise. I'm walking strong between two ditches. I stand, I won't fall, I won't fade. Firm foundation won't be moved. Payday shifts neither between two ditches. I stand my ground. I stand my ground. I stand, yeah. I stand my ground. I stand my ground. I stand my ground. Between two ditches. I stand my ground. I stand my ground. I stand my
Welcome to the Between Two Ditches podcast. We sure are excited to be back with you today. Brother Evan, how has your day been?
Oh, been good. Had a really good day today. I tell you what, we are just in a busy season, aren't we?
We're in a very busy season. Yes.
I don't know about you, but my last 2 weeks have been kind of a blur. It's like you start a week and you end a week, and it's like where did any of that time go?
Yeah, which I love this time of year, you know, the warm weather. But then, of course, when the warm weather comes, it's like you got one thing after another. I will tell you this, I am excited for vacation.
Oh, I am definitely looking forward to some vacation.
Yes, which I don't want to rush the time away here. We've got a lot of things planned coming up, man. It's an exciting time. We just had we had the Damascus yard sale outreach. We had the Yeti Run outreach. Man, that was a huge blessing, wasn't it?
No, that was tremendous.
Gosh, I love that. I'm telling you, it makes your day. It changes your perspective on evangelism, you know?
It does, and it's such a unique thing. And what blows me away is how appreciative people are.
Yes.
Like just over a bottle of water or a banana or a little cup of pickles, as we come to find out, was such a big hit.
I was curious about the pickles, you know, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, here they are down in pickles, and I'm like, I don't really know. But I will say this, it got hotter throughout the day, and I was getting to sweating a little bit, and you know, we thought we had it rough out there, you know, and they're running 50 miles. But I will tell you this, I said, you know, I want to see how this hits when it gets hot. And I will tell you, I downed some pickles and I went back for more.
Yeah.
They do hit a little sweet spot. I don't know.
Yeah, they're refreshing for some reason.
Yeah. The only thing that would have made ours a little bit better is if we had them cold.
Yeah.
I think they would have hit a lot better.
We need to figure out going forward how to put them on an ice bath.
Yes.
So that way they're good and cold for them.
Yes. But man, it was awesome. And man, how about the church showing up?
Oh, that
That was awesome, man. Just so many volunteers just to help hand stuff out, just help be there for people.
Yeah, we just about had a person for every item on the table. Like we just about had every individual item manned.
Yes.
So
I love that.
It was good.
Man, that was just such a blessing, and I'm glad that's not the only one.
Yeah.
I never thought I would be excited for a run.
Well, we're excited for them to run.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure that I'm excited for me to run, but
Yeah.
we're excited for them to run. We love being out here to support them while they do it.
Yes. So the next one, October the 9th, we will, Lord willing, be planning for a whole day event, a cookout, the whole 9 yards, hopefully feed the families that come support them. Man, that's going to be awesome. I love it. And of course, here we are, which I guess by the time this comes out, the Moonlight event will have been over. So
We will be past it. So.
yes, but we got that coming up at the time that we're recording, just in a couple days.
I'm going to cut in right here for just a minute and let everybody know, if you're listening to the podcast, the next couple minutes is only going to sound like audio, just some light background music. Those that are watching the video version of it, though, you're going to see a recap video from the United for His Glory Christian Music Festival that was hosted at the Moonlight on June 13th of 2026. So enjoy the recap video, and if you're just listening audio, feel free to go ahead and skip ahead about 2 minutes or so, and we'll be right back into the podcast.
Shoot, Bible school ain't far off either.
No, it's a month from today, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, I'm sure this don't really matter to anybody, but I do want to mention it here. How cool is Bible school going to be this year?
Oh, this one's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Just the fact that we're kind of building it ourselves this time. We're not going off of somebody else's plan. We kind of just decided to start our own and just dig into it, and
Yeah.
it's going to be fantastic.
Kind of ventured out a little bit. It's really cool. It's called CSI Jerusalem. I don't know if anybody out there has ever watched CSI Miami or some of them crime shows and things like that. I think that's a big hit in our days, the true crime stuff. And so I think the kids are going to love it.
No, I think so. I think we're going to love it. I think we're going to have a lot of fun with it too.
We might have done this one for us. No, I'm kidding. No.
But all jokes aside, the more that we enjoy doing it, and the more that we have fun with it, the more the kids are going to enjoy it.
Yes,
So
absolutely. And of course, I don't know how it really ties in, but we got a dunk tank coming. We'll tie it in somehow.
how many kids you seen out there wouldn't like to take and dunk the preacher,
Right.
or maybe one of the youth leaders or somebody in the church? You know, there'll be somebody first in line when certain people get up there to
You know,
get dunked.
since she's not here and she can't defend herself, why don't we throw Sharon under the bus and put her in there first? No, that'd be fun. But no, I love Bible school. I love this time of year. I love all the events coming up. Man, it's just an exciting time.
You know, I find myself at times complaining because I'm tired, because we're running hard, we're doing all that stuff. But at the end of the day, I wouldn't change it for anything.
No.
The winter is so boring. I mean, I hate to say that,
Yeah,
but
it really
wintertime is so boring when you
Yeah.
can't be doing all the stuff that you do through the summer. So definitely
Absolutely.
looking forward to it.
Yes, I'm excited. And then, of course, we got the Arise with the youth group, and that's coming up July 19th is when we're leaving. And then we come back that following weekend. Let me mention this. This is a new outreach event that we get the opportunity to be a part of this year. At the fairgrounds, they are having what's called a food fest. I mean, she had called me and she said food fest, and automatically I heard food, and I'm
excited.
I just said I'm in. I don't know what it is.
I'm not going to lie about it. I'm excited.
Oh man, it's going to be awesome.
Be able to get out and be with people and pretend that that's the whole reason we're there. But
Yeah.
from what I understand, the place is going to be packed with food trucks. So
Absolutely.
it's like maybe a little bite from here and a little bite from there, and
Yup.
see what all we can discover. And
Yes.
that'll work out good for us for planning future events. That may give us some new food vendors to learn
true.
to be able to invite to some of our events.
That is true. That is true. Man, you just can't beat a good food fest.
No.
I've never been to one, but I just, it sounds good.
Well, I mean, I kind of feel like, in my mind, it's going to be like a buffet of food trucks.
Oh man, glory to God.
Like that's the best way I can think of to describe it. So
Man,
I've never been too upset at a buffet. So
no, I hadn't been that either. Well, man, I'm just looking forward to all that God's going to do through all this, and shoot, we blink and September's going to be here.
yeah,
September the 19th. That is the Christian Music Festival at the Farmers Market.
Farmers Market in Abingdon.
Yes.
This will be our 3rd year there.
3rd year, man.
Ain't that kind of crazy already?
That is hard to believe. So was Helene the first year?
Yeah.
Wow.
So 24, 25, and then this year 26. It'll be
Man.
3 times to be at that venue. And it's the way the dates worked out, it was the 21st, the first one, the 20th, the second one, and the 19th for the third one. So
Huh.
it's been real easy to keep up with the dates on that one.
Man. Does it feel like Helene was a lot closer?
Some ways, in some ways, it feels like that was like 10 years ago.
Really? I don't know why, but in my mind, it's like we're just now getting past it. I don't know why. I'm just still there. So.
Well, I think the trail probably has a lot to do
Well,
with that.
yeah.
The trail being so devastated, and they're still working on it. So,
and it also could be what all God did in my heart.
yeah,
You know, a lot of that is still like fresh. Just-
yeah, that's such an impactful season. Well, I
Yeah.
mean, for all of us,
Man.
that was definitely a new kind of outreach for us. We are so blessed in our area that we are so sheltered from storms.
Yes.
Like we had the tornado back about 15 years ago, like it was devastating. But then we had the hurricane there a couple years ago. But
Yeah.
it's not like a lot of places that get devastated year after year. Like we're so sheltered.
Yeah.
So we don't get those opportunities as much to be in our own back door helping people. So,
Right.
which we're blessed for. But I hope this doesn't sound wrong, but I am so thankful for the opportunity that we did have.
Yeah.
Not that people's homes got messed up and stuff
Right.
like that, but just the change it made in us.
Yeah.
Like the ministry that come out of that, like it ministered to us. And I mean, I can see a change in the way that we operate and everything.
Absolutely. 100%. I will never be the same.
No.
But yeah, along those lines of what you're talking about, though, like thinking about the places way off where every other week you're hearing another hurricane coming in, and I'm like, look what this one hurricane did to our area. How can they survive one right after another like that?
I don't know.
Man,
You know, that's one thing that keeps me here. It's like
yeah,
I'm sheltered. We're for the most part safe here, so
Yeah.
I'm not having to worry about storms and stuff.
Well, Chastity and I have always said, like, we love where we live, which, I mean, obviously, I've never lived anywhere else, but you think about it, when you live, for instance, like in Abingdon, 10, 15 minutes to Bristol. If you want to go more to the quote-unquote city, you can go 45, 50 minutes to Johnson City. If you want to go to the mountains, you can drive 10 or 15 minutes down here to Damascus. You can go to White Top. If you want the lake scene, we've got the South Holston Lake. Just about everything you want. And I mean, even if you want to, you can go down to Hungry Mother Park and feel like you're at the beach, right?
And all that's within an hour.
Right.
Like you never have to go more than an hour away, and you kind of can get a little glimpse of about anything you're looking for.
I mean, it is just a tremendous place to live. And I'm beyond grateful that God put us here in Alvarado.
Yes.
I mean, with the trail going by and all that, man, it just blows me away of the goodness of God, you know, to give us that opportunity. People, I watch them every Sunday. You can watch out the window, just many flow right by, and we've got them speakers out there, and people will stop and sit down. And I've had people message me on the Facebook and stuff, and thank us for having those out there, that they got to have, you know, quote unquote church while they were having their bike ride with their family and things like that. So man, it's awesome.
Well, you know, that was something else they mentioned a lot during the run, was
Yes.
how thankful they were that we were playing Christian music to where they could sit out there and just enjoy themselves, have that in the background.
Yes.
And, you know, I think we a lot of times think that people don't want that.
Right.
Like we're so conditioned to think that people don't want anything to do with church, anything to do with God.
Right.
And I'm starting to find that right now in this period of time, it's actually the opposite.
Yes.
People are hungering for it. Like they are really,
Right.
well, I mean, just look at the church. Like look at the growth the church has seen. And not only the growth it's seen, look at the people that have come in. They're hungry. They want to help. They want
Right.
to get involved.
Yes.
Like I don't remember any other time that I've ever been in church ever seeing this many people coming hungry.
Right. And I think approach makes a big difference too. Like how you're approaching people out there.
Yeah.
When you are approaching with a loving, compassionate, you know, gracious way, rather than, you know, just we want to change you on the outside, so to speak. I think that makes a big difference too. And then, you know, you get a few of your younger people fired up, and younger people serving the Lord, and then they share it with their younger friends. And I mean, of course, we've discussed all this of how, you know, how a church grows and stuff, you know, sheep birth sheep and all that. But it is just an exciting time to be a Christian.
It is. You know, we went from a time that, I mean, we won't say the C word in case that word gets us canceled on YouTube. But during that time, it was like there was such a withdrawal from church.
Yeah.
But now it's almost like it's flooding back,
Yeah.
like in even like tenfold.
Yeah.
Like they're running back faster than they ever ran away, and
Yeah.
it is exciting. I heard a pastor the other day on a podcast said that they're getting ready to do a baptism. Said they had 1,800 people signed up to baptize.
40 day.
They,
Okay.
they said that there's a state park. They baptize in the ocean. Said there's a state
Wow.
park there. Said, and we just take it over.
Man.
Said we show up and we just take it over for an entire day. Could you imagine baptizing 18,000 people or
Man.
1,800 people?
That would be quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
I hope he's got some help. If not, he's
Yeah.
going to be sore by the
That
end
would
of the
be
day.
a workout.
That would be a
know?
workout.
Wow.
Not only fighting the ocean waves, that many people.
Man.
Being there that long, you'd have to be chasing
Yeah.
the water because it would be.
Yeah, you'd end up 2 miles down the road drifting. Speaking of drifting, why don't we get into the subject that we originally wanted to talk about?
Yeah.
Today we want to talk to you about the dangers of isolation. This seems to be a very common theme, a very common subject that keeps popping up in our small groups and keeps popping up in society. So many people are dealing with this subject of isolation. And as far as the ditches go, I think you can isolate yourself too much, and then also you can get to a place where you never have any time to yourself at all. I think the proper terminology, you can go ahead and share that.
Well, I was going to say that we could kind of call, well, I don't know if you'd really call the ditches, but the healthy and the unhealthy would be isolation would be the unhealthy, solitude would be the healthy version of that.
Yeah.
And you know, when we think about that, what's the difference between solitude and isolation? Solitude is when you take your time and you go to the Lord and you spend time with Him alone.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, really, by all definition, solitude is nothing like isolation.
Yeah.
Because you may be withdrawn from other people, but you're clinging to God in that time. Where isolation, you kind of just withdraw from everybody.
Makes sense. And we just had talked about Jacob in the Bible and how he wrestled with God. That was a place of solitude that night when he was wrestling with God. But you know what happened? He come out of that solitude transformed.
Yeah.
He was never the same since. Really, even got his name changed and everything.
Yeah.
So that was a transforming solitude, if
Yeah.
you will. But on the contrary, I think one of the greatest examples of isolation is a man by the name of Elijah. Elijah in 1 Kings chapter 18, he is calling fire down from heaven. He is God's man. He's bold. He's courageous. He's strong. He is the cat's meow, so to speak. He's doing great and mighty things. God's using him. And then you read chapter 19, and there's a real transformation that takes place, not in a good way. But he finds himself isolated because of some things somebody said. And he finds himself under a juniper tree. And this goes to show you how far isolation can take you. He's asking God to take his life.
Yeah.
Now, some may say, well, that's far-fetched. That's out there. You look at the statistics of suicide in our generation, it would blow your mind.
Yeah. Well, I think something too that we don't think about is time frame. Isolation. Well, let me back up before I get there. How long does it take to build that relationship, to get close to somebody? Like, you're talking months and years to build that relationship.
Yeah.
But how quickly can 2 weeks, 4 weeks of isolation just destroy all of that?
That's true.
And just in that little amount of time destroy what all that amount of time has built.
Yeah.
It takes a whole lot less isolation to destroy than it does the time it takes to build the relationships and build the
True.
bonds with people. So I think that's one of the dangers of isolation, is how quickly it can happen and how extreme it can get, how quickly.
Absolutely. And I think it's something that we're finding that, amongst conversation and things, men especially, they have a tendency to do this, which women also, of course, but men definitely have a tendency to do this. We've been talking about in our small groups, the definition of manhood. We've all said strong. We've all said, protector, all these manly kind of definitions. Well, you know what really I think is the reason we isolate a lot of times is due to pride.
Yeah.
Because we're saying, well, I got this. I'm too strong. I can't be defeated, kind of thing.
That I got this is a very, very bad saying.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
And it's one that we grow up with, and like you say, it's a pride. I guess it's a manhood kind of pride. I mean, there's some. I'm not saying there's not women that, kind of run that way too, but I think it's definitely more prevalent with men. And it's like what we need to realize and what we need to do is we need to make a shift.
Yeah.
We need to quit saying I've got this and change it to God's got this.
Yeah. I want to say something on the forefront here that's running through my mind, because isolation is a real problem. It's a real issue. But I don't want to minimize the fact of what causes isolation. There are men and women alike that have faced some very hard trials and very hard issues. And you know, maybe at the start of their life, they wouldn't always run to isolation.
Yeah.
But they've entrusted certain people, they've put their confidence in certain people, and then those certain people let them down. Now they've got walls up and got guards up, and now the easiest move is isolation, because you know if you isolate, that person can't hurt you.
Exactly. I agree 100%. Let me throw this idea at you and see what you think about it. You know, we're talking about the season that we went through, you know, 6 years ago, 5 years ago, whatever you want to say. And everybody we do it online. We do this online. We keep up with people online. Mm-hmm. Well, how much actual contact are you getting? How much relationship bond are you getting when it's through a screen?
Well, that actually leads me to a question that I had in my notes about this, is why do you think so many people today feel lonely despite living in the most connected society? You think about it? Yeah. We're all connected. We add our friends, we follow our friends on social media. We're all technically connected. We've got each other's numbers. Why is loneliness up while connections are up?
And this is my opinion, like, I don't have any facts. Like, I'm sure we could do research and find the facts, but my opinion on that is that we're physical beings.
Yeah.
Humans are physical beings. Like, I mean, newborn babies, what do they tell the moms to do? Skin to skin contact, touch, feeling. And I'm not talking about in your feelings, I'm talking about physical feeling. Yeah. And you never get that when you're going through one of these. Like, as you can talk to somebody 23 and a half hours a day, and you will not get the same out of it as if you go and sit down and have a 30-minute conversation with them face to face.
Very true.
There's just something about being in proximity, something about being physically close to people that is so rewarding.
Yeah. Well, I think you could also look at the fact that, you know, over a phone and all that stuff, how many times does that get turned against you?
Yeah.
You know, a screenshot or a screen record or something or anything like that. But I want to mention something on that personal contact that you were talking about. I was listening to a Mike Edwards message the other day. Man, he's tremendous. I love him. But anyways, I was listening to his message the other day, and man, I really got convicted. Here's why. So he was talking some about this subject, and he said now what we do when people put a prayer request in, we totally depend on sending them prayer hands rather than actually going to them and praying with them. And we all do that. Yeah. I mean, I'm not against that, obviously. I do it all the time. But I was like, how many times have I had the opportunity where I could have went and ministered to somebody, but I just held that button down, hit that emoji, prayer hands. You know,
absolutely. Like that's very convicting.
Yeah.
But another thing that I would say about the screens, and a podcast I was listening to the other day, one of the guests that was on there was talking about, he went through a season a few years ago where he actually stepped away from church for like 3 years. He said, I never missed a Sunday message. He said, I never stepped away from God per se. He said, but I stepped completely away from church in that season. And he said, I would like to tell you that I was faithful. He said, I always watched something on Sunday. He said, but the difference was, he said, when I got to feeling convicted, he said, it was so easy to swipe on past.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, that is so, that was profound to me. Like, if you're sitting in that pew, it's not like when you're up here and stepping all over my toes, like I can just be like, nope, I don't want to hear this.
Yeah.
Like, at that point, you're buckled in.
Right.
You know, you really got to dial in, and I think we need that. Right. We don't always need the things that just sound good and feel good. Like, we need the hard stuff.
Yeah. Well, you know, I think that's a good little conversation to have. You know, you've got a lot of people out there, and some of them I understand. They don't see the necessity of church. They say, well, I can have church in my tree stand. I can have church on my boat. And here's the thing. They say this, and there's songs out there that talk about this, about how they feel God out in his creation. And you know, I used to always tell myself, well, you can feel God better in the house of God. I mean, all this stuff. But here's the thing. The Bible says that his creation speaks of his eternal power and Godhead, that he uses his creation to speak of himself. So they're not wrong.
Yeah, they're not wrong.
He is literally, as they're casting their rod and they're out there shooting them deers and all that stuff, they're feeling God's presence because that's his creation.
Yeah.
They're looking at the mountains and they're thinking, man, what a big God, because that's God speaking to them.
Oh, and I agree 100%. Like, I love going to places and sightseeing. I'm not a hunter. I'm not a fisherman.
Right.
Like, that's not my thing. But I love to go just look at his creation.
Yes.
And Niagara Falls has become one of my favorite places to go see, just the power behind it. But the thing is we can say that we do that, and like I say, I think it's fantastic. I enjoy it myself.
Right.
But as long as we're not replacing the assembly with that, and I heard a pastor in a sermon some point through this week when I was listening, he said, we've quit chasing God and we've started chasing feelings.
Yeah.
He said, if you're after the warm and fuzzy rather than after God.
Yes.
And that convicted me, because I find myself sometimes like, God, I haven't felt those tingles in a little while. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
like,
I get it.
It's like, am I missing out? And then I look back and it's like he will bring something back to remembrance of something that he's taught me.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, that's so much better.
Right.
That's so much better than that 5-10 minute period of the tingles, as we can say.
Yeah.
Just the fact that he brings it back to my mind and he's like, no, I instilled this in you. Like,
Right.
I taught you this.
Yeah, I was going to say though that those things are great, obviously, but they don't suffice
Yes.
for church.
Yeah.
You know, they're not wrong in going down the road and, you know, they turn music on and feeling the presence of God. And they say, well, that's my church, or they're sitting at home and isolated from everybody and watching live stream on there. And I get it. There's times, there's seasons where you're sick, you can't make it. All the things, we're not saying that. I think everybody knows by now, I'm not a very legalistic guy. But here's the thing. God said it in his word, forsake not the assembling of yourselves together. Now, I don't say that to be super duper spiritually religious and all that stuff. What I say is, there is a level of community that we all need.
Yeah.
There is friendships that we need. There is brotherhood, sisterhood that we need.
Yeah.
God put that, God designed that for us. He knew we needed it.
Well, just to throw in here, Saturday, this one's called United for His Glory.
Yeah.
Just think of the church we're going to have there.
Yeah.
With brothers and sisters that we won't ever sit in a church beside
Right,
of.
right.
That's another form of church to me. Like,
Yeah.
that stuff ministers to me.
Right.
You know, so that's another big thing. You know, the evangelism and the outreach and everything that we do, like, I'm sure you'll agree with me here. There's times that I feel like that ministers to me more than the people I'm trying to minister to.
For sure.
You know, there's times I'll have somebody walk up to me and they'll tell me a story of something God's done in their life, and it's like, man, I needed that encouragement.
Yeah.
Like, you've helped me more than I feel like I could have ever helped you. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. But church just offers a different level of community, friendships, bonds, strength that you cannot find elsewhere. You know, you find prayer partners, you find folks that you can count on, folks that you can call on, and it is dangerous to isolate yourself from that.
Absolutely. But one more quick question for you here on the idea of not forsaking the assembly, is when did we get to a point that we wanted to put a time limit on church? And I'm not trying to get in the whole thing about the length of sermons and all that stuff, but if it feels like church to you to be in that tree stand, to be on that boat fishing, if that feels like church to you, driving down the road, that music feels like you've been in church, you've been in fellowship with God. Mm-hmm. What's wrong with having an extra couple hours with God?
True.
What's wrong with having extra time of fellowship?
Yeah.
You know, we don't need to replace the assembly just because, well, I've already felt like I've been in church here.
Right.
Well, good. Go get you a double portion.
Yeah. Yeah.
We ain't
That's
afraid
true.
to go back for the second and third time through the buffet line. Why not go back through God's buffet and get you a second or third helping?
Amen.
Like that's, I get excited.
I agree with you on that.
You know how I am, though. I get excited sometimes.
No, I'm with you. And there have been seasons where I didn't feel like going to church. No. I mean, we'll just be 100% honest.
You want me to be transparent? There's been times in the last month
Yeah.
that it's just been like,
Yeah.
I'm going to just lay here.
Right.
I don't want to get up. I don't want to go get in the shower. I don't want to put those clothes on.
Yeah.
But when you push through, on the other side, you're always glad that you did.
There is a blessing to be found.
Yeah.
It's actually a principle in Scripture, pushing past the resistance. You know, there's always going to be opposition.
Always.
But you push past that, and there is strength, there's help, and benefit that comes from that. I'm sure most people don't feel like going to the gym.
Yeah.
But they do.
I'm hoping to start.
Amen. Well, I will say this. I did. I got a gym membership. I got one of them, and then, you know, you had the babysitting involved in it. Well, then we take the kids, and the kids wouldn't go in there. So I'm like, well, maybe God wants me to be fat. I don't know.
The resistance.
Yeah.
It just hit a little faster and a little more in your face than you were
Yes.
expecting.
Yes. I was not ready for that.
No.
But anyways, let's see. Why does Satan often target people who are isolated?
I think that is such a simple answer
It
and
is.
such a deep, complicated answer all at the same time.
Yeah.
I mean, that comes back to the principle of locking shields.
Yeah.
Like, you can fight a battle better when you've got a brother standing beside of you, brother or sister,
Right.
you know. It's biblical, it's scriptural that to lock shields and go forward against him. But when you're by yourself, you've got to try to fight that battle alone. I'm not saying that God's not with you. I'm not trying to say that at all.
Right.
But a lot of times when you're in the mindset that you are when you get isolated, you don't always turn to God.
That's true.
And you let the enemy in and let him fight.
Yeah. So, you ever watched Animal Planet?
I do.
You ever watch whenever they got them herds of different animals running, and then you've got the enemy over on the side that's just kind of keeping an eye out. And he's looking, and he's just barely sneaking by. And he watches for that one that's lagging behind,
Yeah.
that's getting away from the herd. You like that one? Getting away from the herd. And that predator, we'll call it, sneaks in. And he goes after the one that is isolated away from the rest. Yeah. Because obviously the predator knows he's going to stand a whole lot better chance against that prey when that prey is standing alone. And so our Bible says this: be sober, be vigilant, for your adversary, the devil, walks around like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour.
You ready for this? This just come to me.
Go ahead.
And I think this is good.
Okay.
It might not be as good after I get done saying it, but it sounds good in my head.
Miss Christie, come to the piano.
The parable of the 99 sheep
Oh, yeah.
and the one. Is that why he was so quick to leave the 99 to get to the one?
Because of the importance of it?
Because the importance of the one being isolated.
Come on with it.
Just the fact of the one being isolated, knowing that how much more dangerous it is for them than it is to leave the 99. I've never thought of it from that perspective.
Well, that is a little thought there, isn't it?
That's why he was so quick to leave the 99 to go after the one.
Yeah, and I was thinking about this too. We see something whenever Jesus was tempted, that very famous time whenever Satan tempts Jesus. He had just come out of a 40-day fast. He was led by the Spirit into the wilderness. He was fasting and everything, and of course, fasting, especially 40 days. I mean, I'll fast for 2 hours. I'm like, dear God. So you snap into a Slim Jim. No. but no, I think about 40 days of fasting.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to be weak, right? I
Yeah.
mean, you're going to be, and what did Satan do? He went after that very vulnerability that he was facing at that moment.
Yeah.
He was hungry, so here's bread, right?
Yeah.
This, that, and the other. So you know what I'm talking about. But notice, I don't find where anybody else is around
Yeah.
at that moment.
Yeah.
When he was tempted, he was in the wilderness. He was isolated. But which also shows you, and Jesus shows us this, that there are times to, I hate to use the word isolate, but to pull away,
Yeah.
to come apart. Oh, I like that. There are times to come apart.
Yeah.
And Jesus showed us that.
Yeah.
That I'm going to go and pray. But look what he did when he come apart.
Yeah.
I'll go and pray.
Well, he separated himself from man,
Yes.
but like we said, the further from man he got, the closer to God he got.
Yeah, come on.
So I feel we can use either one of those there
You
interchangeably.
better be careful.
But
think or feel.
as long as when we step away from the relationship with man, we're stepping closer to the relationship with God.
Yeah.
That, I think that's a good thing to do. And I'm not saying that I expect anybody, including myself or yourself, I'm not going to say God may not put it on us, but I don't think we're going to be stepping into a 40-day fast or anything like that.
Never know. No, okay.
I like to eat too much. I think that would be
that would probably be my way out of here. I'd leave out of here fast. If you get what I'm saying.
Well, Brother Jacob, I don't know if you're going to believe this or not, but we've done it once again.
We did. We done it again. We're going to have to cut in and make this into another episode. Well, we want you to stay tuned for the next episode. Until next time, keep it between the ditches.
Love y'all.